So this video is going to talk about horizontal and vertical lines and just how those look in terms of writing an equation and stuff. So let's look at this horizontal line right now, and let's find some points on this line. So I'm just going to, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's grab the pen. There we go. So there's one point. Maybe I'll use a color that stands out a little more. There's one point. There's another point. There's another point. So what are these points? This is over 3 up 5. The one next to that is over 5 up 5. The one next to that is over 7 up 5. We could find another point like back here maybe, where this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up 5. So negative 5 up 5. And the one thing that should be glaringly obvious on every one of these points is the y value. What's the y value on all of those? It's 5. And so the equation for this line is y equals 5. That's it. All of the y values are always 5. The x values change every time, but the y values stay the same and the y values are 5. And so the other thing that you'll want to know for this is what's the slope. So if you remember, the slope is the change in y divided by the change in x. And if we look at this graph, the y is the up and down part. And this graph is just straight across horizontal. It's not moving up and down at all. So the change in y is just 0. And then the x could be any number. You could put 1, you could put 5, you could put whatever, because the x is changing as it goes horizontally, but the y is not changing. And so 0 over any number is just 0. So the slope of this line is 0. So for any horizontal line, it's always just you look at what's the y value, and your equation is going to be y equals that number. So let's look at vertical lines. And the same idea, let's plot a couple points on here. So this point here is going to be negative 3, 0. Let's find another one. This point is negative 3, 4. This one up here is negative 3, 7. You probably get the idea already, right? We go down here, we get negative 3, negative 5. So what's the same on all of these? Well, the x value, right? The x value is negative 3 for all of them. And so the equation for this line is x equals negative 3. And then if we talk about the slope for this, the slope is change in y over change in x. Well, the y is changing the y is going up by 1 or whatever you want to say. So we could say the y is going up by 1. But the x is the side-to-side motion, and that's not doing anything at all. So that's divided by 0. Well, in math, we can't divide by 0. That's a no-no. And so what we do is we say that the slope is undefined. So whenever you try to divide by 0, we call that undefined. And so the slope of a vertical line is undefined. A vertical line equation is always x equals whatever that x value is. So to summarize, for all horizontal lines have a slope of, so what I would encourage you to do is pause the video and write this down, and then fill in the blanks and see if you get the right answers. So let's summarize. All horizontal lines have a slope of 0. And the equation for the line is y equals some number, whatever that number happens to be. And then all vertical lines have a slope of undefined. And the equation for vertical lines is x equals whatever the x value is. So that's vertical and horizontal lines in a nutshell.